November 1942. The Volga River was a ribbon of ice and smoke. Across the ruins of Stalingrad, the sound of artillery never stopped. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And far beyond those flames, 3 Soviet armies were already on the move. Their goal wasn't just to save Stalingrad, it was to destroy the myth of the unbeatable Wehrmacht. They called it Operation Uranus. In 7 days, it would change the course of the entire war. By the fall of 1942, Hitler believed the Red Army was finished. Stalingrad, the city that bore Stalin's name, was supposed to fall quickly. Instead, it became a slaughterhouse. Factories turned into fortresses. The grain elevator, the tractor plant, the Red October steelworks, every building was a battlefield. German troops fought for every staircase, every basement. Stalin ordered, "Not one step back." And the Soviets obeyed. 300,000 Germans under General Friedrich Paulus were trapped in a nightmare of their own making. While the world watched the city burn, Stalin's generals prepared a secret. Marshal Georgy Zhukov and General Alexander Vasilevsky saw the Germans' fatal flaw. Their flanks were guarded not by elite troops but by under-equipped Romanian, Hungarian, and Italian divisions. For months, the Soviets stockpiled tanks, artillery, and fuel under total secrecy. Thousands of men marched by night. Radio silence, camouflage nets, dummy depots to mislead reconnaissance. By mid-November, 1.1 million Soviet soldiers were ready. They waited only for the weather and for silence to break. At dawn, November 19, 1942, the steppe erupted. More than 3,500 guns opened fire in a single, deafening salvo. For 80 minutes, the earth itself seemed to explode. Soviet infantry advanced behind walls of smoke, supported by T-34 tanks roaring through blizzards. Within hours, Romanian lines collapsed. German command posts lost contact. Panic spread. By the next day, Soviet forces from the south struck the Italian and Hungarian sectors. The trap was closing from both sides. On November 23rd, the pincers met at the town of Kalach on Don. In one blow, the German 6th Army was surrounded. Over 300,000 men cut off from the outside world. Paulus requested permission to break out while it was still possible. Hitler's response: "The army will stand fast." He promised resupply by air, 500 tons of supplies per day. The Luftwaffe managed barely 90. Soon, the soldiers of Stalingrad were living on 50 grams of bread a day. Horses, dogs, wallpaper paste, anything became food. Frostbite blackened their hands. Their weapons froze before they could fire. December brought no relief. The German relief force, Operation Winter Storm, advanced 30 miles and then stalled. Paulus still hoped to break out, but Hitler forbade it. The Soviets had encircled not only the 6th Army, but Hitler's logic itself. Civilians trapped in cellars wrote letters they'd never send. Russian snipers hunted movement in the ruins. Artillery never slept. And above all, the cold, -40. Metal shattered like glass. Entire companies froze standing in the snow. On January 10, 1943, the Soviets launched Operation Ring, the final assault. 7,000 guns surrounded the pocket. The bombardment lasted a week. When the Soviet troops advanced, resistance was scattered. Starved men, no ammunition, no hope. On January 31st, Paulus surrendered his southern sector. 2 days later, the last northern pockets collapsed. 91,000 Germans marched into captivity. Gaunt, frostbitten, broken. Only 6,000 would ever see Germany again. The Battle of Stalingrad cost nearly 2 million lives, soldiers and civilians alike. But it broke the back of the Nazi war machine. From that moment, the Red Army began its unstoppable march westward. Kursk, Kyiv, Warsaw, Berlin. Operation Uranus was more than a military victory. It was a symbol that tyranny could bleed and that endurance could outlast cruelty. In the ashes of Stalingrad, humanity paid its highest price, and learned that no empire, no army, no ideology is invincible.